Hi, I'm Gary Katz from the Center for Intimacy Recovery, and today I want to talk about why men cheat. But one thing that is important to say is that while trying to understand the underlying reasons for the person's cheating, doesn't absolve it. The person is still responsible for what they did. They're still responsible for the pain that they have caused their partner, family members, or anyone else. But understanding the why helps us to change it, helps us to maybe heal. The question why men cheat is actually a challenging question, is because the person asking the question is trying to synthesize the person they know with the actions that they've just found out. They might know a loving partner, a wonderful, attentive father, an upstanding person in the community. And then they find out this whole new other set of information, which is in a complete contradiction to what they know. And so the why is really trying to say, how do these two things coexist? How can these two things be synthesized? Because they don't make sense, because what I just found out is so different than what I've been thinking for all this time. And the second reason about the why in being such a difficult question is because ultimately I think that when a person says, why did you cheat? They're really saying, I wish that you hadn't cheated. Because it's so painful to absorb, and the why often becomes that question of a way to say, I wish you hadn't done what you did to betray me. So the question, why do men cheat? The answer is that it's not about sex. So if cheating is not about sex, then what is it about? The answer is that it usually has to do with the person who cheated's emotional needs. It often goes back to core beliefs that they have about themselves, feelings deep, deep down at their core that they feel not good enough, they feel not loved, they feel even just not worthy of anything. Not because of anything that their spouse might have done. These feelings started much earlier in their lives. It also could have to do with trauma, the way something that they experienced, either a big trauma or a small trauma repeated over time, that causes them to seek out sex as a coping mechanism for their emotional needs, as a way to soothe, as a way to feel better. Some people, when they're upset, eat a pint of ice cream. Other people, when they're upset, seek to act out sexually because the way that their body feels after that is a soothing feeling. For many people, it also has to do with shame. The level of shame connected to, as I said before, their core beliefs about themselves. And so sex is a way to get away from that sense of shame. Also, many people, especially men, don't have the skills to be vulnerable or to ask for emotional needs to be met. These often aren't modeled for them. They didn't have a father or another adult who showed them how to share vulnerably, how to say, I feel sad, I feel hurt, I'm scared, can you? And so when they don't know how to have these needs met, the lack of needs being met builds up and builds up and builds up until it comes out sideways, because it has to go somewhere. So sometimes it comes out sideways through explosive anger, because that's an emotion men are allowed to feel and are allowed to show. And they often explode disproportionate to something that's happening right before them. Or it comes out sexually, because sexual desire is another emotion that men are allowed to show. And so these two acting out their feelings and unmet needs through either anger or sexual desire become a way that men learn how to cope with unmet needs and with feelings of vulnerability. Also, to understand why men cheat, it's important to really take a look at what were their sexual behaviors. Because by studying and understanding what their sexual behaviors were, it sheds light on what they were trying to help themselves to feel. So for example, somebody who has repeated conquests, maybe many affairs or one-night stands, is often seeking validation, getting one more person to show them that they're attracted to them, getting one more person to show them that they're wanted. That need to feel validated, whether sexually or emotionally in an emotional affair, or in many other ways that we seek it, is one of the most important things that people who are not getting their needs met require. And so by understanding that, we understand what they're seeking. A person who might have compulsive use of pornography, they're at a distance from what they're doing, from what they're interacting with. They're not even with a live person. So there's a safety in that and an avoidance of intimacy. So understanding that, why do they need that safety and distance through pornography versus being with the real person? And finally, looking at the power dynamics involved in the sexual behaviors as well, whether they're physical power or even financial power. often shed light as to what the needs are for the person in their acting out behaviors. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that if needed, you'll reach out for help to the Center for Intimacy Recovery.